Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another video. Today, I'm going to be talking about openings. Let me just switch this board around. Openings. That's what we're going to be. That's today's topic. And the topic is don't play weird ones. Okay. All right. I'm gonna start out with a couple normal ones to get you an idea of what a normal opening should look like, and then I'll show you some really weird ones that I've played against. So you can see here. We go back. Knight to f3. Fine starting move. Pawn to d5, just getting ready to attack the center, forms it into queen's pawn opening d4. So I decide to send my knight, and he does this move. Pawn to e3. I move my knight, try to attack his pawn, and you can see over time, like, he kind of gave up his bishop right here, which was kind of a weird move. But it's like it's whatever, okay? You got your both castle. Oop, I did not mean to do that. Yeah, both castle though. This was not a good move, according to the Stockfish. And then he did this, which brings it back down to even, basically. But you can see that the game is actually kind of like normal. Even if I did blunder a few times. And I did end up winning this game, I believe, if I recall correctly. Yeah, I definitely won this one, yep. But you could see the opening principle. Like, you move your knights out, you move your pawns, you move your bishops. Let me just show you another example of a normal opening. So this one I was playing black also. So this guy decided to do pawn to e4. You got the king's pawn opening. We do this. He does that. And it just turns into a normal opening. I mean, he did kind of sacrifice his pawn, which was kind of a weird move. He did this, which was not a good move. But like the first few lines, okay, there was no immediate blunders within like the first three moves. And this is what a normal opening should look like. It should look something like this, or something that you've learned. I haven't actually learned any real openings myself, but I've played like basic center principles. You bring out your knights, you attack the center, and that's what I mostly do. All right, let's get to the really weird stuff. This one I played on April 13th, and you can see, well, you can't see, but I won this game in 10 moves. And let me show you why. Pawn to d4. All right, that's a fine opening. I'll accept it. Pawn to d5. Pawn to e4. All right, there's nothing wrong with the Queen's Gambit. I decided to accept it, and then he does this. So I just take another pawn. He takes back with the knight. Obviously I move my knight out. Try to develop towards the center, try to get something out of it. But then he does this. Now the thing about this move is obviously he's trying to attack this square right here. Probably gonna move like the bishop. Well, that's a spoiler, but probably move the bishop here. Here, I'll see if I can draw an arrow. All right, right here. Probably move it right here. Attack this square. Fork the king. Or the queen and the rook, wins the material. I move my queen here, trying to defend the square, because I knew that's what his plan was. And then he did this. Stockfish did not really like this move. It gives me a 1-point advantage, because this move is really weird, okay? You don't immediately attack the queen, okay? Your best bet was probably just to develop the knight. I mean, your knight's already defended. I'm not going to take your knight. I'm not going to take it. So probably like something after like something like this. I move here, right? Probably move the bishop wherever. And you got an attack on that square. I mean, I can't really take that, but I could do something like this, and it's not very good. But it's whatever. That's not what he did though, obviously. So Stockfish didn't really like me moving my queen back here, probably because I made it more passive. But then he does this, which basically loses the game instantly. I'll let you guys figure it out if you want. Just like I'll give you a second. And if you guess the move was queen to e5, you're correct. Queen to e5 check was correct. He blocks with his bishop. It's whatever. Now I attack the bishop because He can't do anything. He can't move it. No matter how much he wants to, he can't move it. But he can move it literally anything else. All right, I'm gonna show you what he did in this position. He played check, which is a fair play. I moved my knight to block his check, and then he did this. Now, this is the reason this is mate in one is because of this. Because the man was trying to kick out my bishop after moving the queen, which was the thing defending that pawn. If you'll notice back here, it was defending the pawn, so I couldn't actually I could if I move it here. Let's just say he plays something like this. I play this. He can't actually. I can't actually checkmate him. Like this is just a position we're in. I'm up 4 points of material, so it's not looking good at all. But you get what I mean. That's not what he did. Instead, he played this pawn move, blundering mate in one. So that's the first game of a weird opening. Just to review, he gave 2 sacrifices and then he moved the knight twice. You don't do that in opening, okay? You don't move your knight twice. You move it once. Alright. Moving on. Second game. This one I won in 12 moves, and I'll show you how. We got the standard d4, d5 opening. This time I decided to go straight after the bishop, immediately pin the pawn to the queen, so we couldn't have ideas of this. Otherwise, I just do that. Obviously. So he just kicks my bishop out, no big deal. And then he does this. Now, the reason this is not a good move, okay, I can just take back, which is exactly what happened. Now, in this position, you could probably go something like here, and I would just develop this knight, and it's an advantage for me, but it's not like I'm completely winning, right? But if we go back here, I take, and he does this. Not a good move, and you'll see in a moment why. This move right here, Stockfish didn't really like it. It gave me -1 point for that. But he did this. He didn't even because I was planning on recapturing, and that was just gonna be the end of it, right? And then maybe he can start making some normal moves, like that, trade the bishops. But no, that's not what happened. No. He decided to go on h5 for whatever reason. I don't know what his plan was here. I don't know why he was going on h5. I don't know why he was doing a full-on kingside attack. Maybe he was planning to trap my bishop or something. But I just take, and he takes back with the queen. Not a bad move at all. But I just attack the queen, and he moves it. I attack with my own queen. He moves the knight. I permit check. And this move, I realized as soon as I made it, I realized it was a blunder. Because the reason it just loses the queen for free, he's up 5 points of material. But that's not what happened in the game. On to b5. Instantly blundering the queen. Because I just take back, and then he misclicked, meaning I win. Because it was either a misclick or it was a pre-move. Because I think what the plan was, because of how fast he made this move, you can see on the timer, he only did it in a second. So what I think happened was that he pre-moved this, not realizing that I would just take his queen. And at that moment, he decided to resign because I'm just up 7 points of material, and I'm way better. So yeah, that's the third game. Third game, April 13th. Once again, basically every single one of these was April 13th. But D4, no normal standard stuff. E5, kind of a weird opening, but it's whatever. I just take the center. Normally, you would probably do something like this. You take back, he takes back. It's whatever. We're about even in material. Doesn't really matter. Ooh, what's happening? Why does it look like that? Okay, let's go back to where we were. Right here. He moved his queen out, trying to, probably to attack the pawn. I don't really know exactly what his plan was here, considering my pawn was defended by my queen. My pawn is defended by my queen, so he couldn't really like actually capture it. I decided to just defend my pawn a little bit more, just to have structure. So this move right here, this is kind of weird one because he's obviously trying to blow up in the center, right? He's probably planning on me taking or something. I don't even know what this guy was doing. Okay, he's 442, and I have no idea what this guy was doing. He just kept making queen moves. Okay, you can see here he tried going over here. I don't know what he was attacking on the square for. Maybe it's to try to attack my king, but there's nothing. There's nothing like attacking that square too. So there's no point in doing that currently. You should be developing your knights, developing your bishops, and then you develop your queen. So I just decide, I'm going to do something normal and just develop my knight. He develops his bishop, which Stockfish actually hated. It gives me 5-point advantage. Stockfish did not really appreciate this move. You can see trying to trade off the bishops. But he just did this. And I don't know what Stockfish wanted here. I'm going to be honest. I don't really know what he wanted. But at this specific position, I can see exactly what Stockfish wanted. Never mind, I could not. I think I realized immediately after I made this move that, like, oh shoot, that's a free queen. And then he did that, and it's like, whatever. I'm just gonna attack, the king, do whatever. And then he did this, right? It's kind of even. Actually, it's saying a draw currently. That's kind of weird. I wouldn't consider this position a draw. I think maybe it's like just perfectly even. I don't know. Maybe it considers this position a drawn position somehow. But he did this. I don't know what the plan was here. I'm going to be honest. I sincerely do not know what he was thinking here. What was the point of queen to a3? This does nothing. Okay? For one, you were attacking this rook, okay? Probably shouldn't have attacked the rook. But point is, you were fine, okay? You were fine right here. Okay? There was nothing wrong with the spot. In fact, you probably could have done this, and it would have been a lot better. Maybe I would have done this, but I would just... see, this is a lot better, because I couldn't actually do what I wanted to do. So refreshing to so many times. So why would you make the move queen to a3? I do not understand the logic behind it. I do not understand why this move was made. I hope it's never made again. Guys, if you're in this position, do not make the move queen to a3. Okay? Glad to know. Great. Alright, so I just win the rook. Great. Stockfish gives me down to 2 points instead. Don't really know why. I'm going to be honest, I do not know why. Because I couldn't have really done anything. I'm going to check the lines, actually. Oh my god. What do you mean I gotta upgrade? What is that? Alright, whatever. I guess I'm not gonna see the lines. So I don't know why Stockfish likes this position better, but it does. I don't know why it doesn't like me taking a rook. Maybe it's because it likes something else better, and it was like, oh, dang it. But he moved his bishop here. I think he was trying to attack this square. I don't really know why he was trying to attack it, considering it was defended by both the king and the bishop. But whatever, I guess. So I just took his rook again. It goes from 1.8 from right here. You get 1.8 all the way to 11 points. Okay? So he did not make the right move. I decided to pin his king, this pawn specifically, and he made this move. Now, can you see what's wrong with this move? It might be a little bit hard to tell what exactly the blunder was here. But just see if you can find it, okay? And if you saw Bishop takes F2, you would be right. Because now, according to Stockfish, it is mate in 14. This is a great game. This is completely fair and balanced, and there's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. He decides to take back, and he resigned right here. Because I was winning, because I had a mate in 13. He probably saw the mate in 13. You know, like, this is probably Hikaru I was fighting against. He saw the mate in 13 and was like, oh shoot, I gotta resign right now. So, yeah, that's the third game. Not good stuff. Don't don't play like any of these players, guys. Alright, always do your blunder checks. Is it checkmate in 1? Are there any, like, forks or captures that I can do, or my opponent can do? Is there any threats I can make? Is there any threats that my opponent is making, and there's any attacks I can make, or the opponent can make? You gotta think about this stuff before making each move. Otherwise, you're gonna do things like make queen to a3. Like, who does that? Okay, anyways. Normal stuff so far. You defend this pawn from the knight. Usually I like doing this. And so I like doing this, defend that pawn. But that's not what happened in the game. He did develop his knight to move later, which is perfectly fine. So he couldn't move it. Is probably something like, I don't even know. Probably just develop this bishop, probably here. Just pin the knight. I can't move it. It's an absolute pin. He probably develops his. Well, I probably like do here. Probably like develops the bishop. I would do something like this. Well, not like that. You know what I mean, though. It's perfectly normal stuff. This is just opening stuff. You don't really have to think about it. You just do it. Instead of doing any of that stuff, okay, he's not going to develop any pieces. I just want you guys to guess what move you think this guy made right now. Just leave your comments in the answer down below. Leave your answer in the comments down below, and then erase that comment because it was completely wrong. Knight to e4, sacrificing the knight or the queen, sacrificing the queen. His plan here was clearly to do this for some reason. I mean, he couldn't even really do anything here. So I don't know what he was doing about that. I don't know why he did that. I don't know why he did that. I don't know. I don't know the psychology of my opponents. I don't know why they make these moves. Please help me. Why is it not loading? Please load. Oh my god. Do I gotta refresh again?
2 hours later.
Okay. We got it. So I take the queen. He obviously takes back the bishop. As I was saying, don't play like these opponents, okay? Do not play like these people. I do not want anyone to play like these people, okay? Because this was terrible. This genuinely hurts. So he tried to pin my knight. I decided to put my queen here, try to get it out of position. Move my bishop so I can castle this way. He obviously tried to attack my queen, which is a fair move, actually. Because I gotta really move the queen. So I just move it here, try to, mostly cut off the king. I mean, if I can have like a light squared bishop or dark squared bishop here, or like I don't even know. Doesn't matter. Point is, I'm in a completely winning position. I take the bishop with check. He blocks the pawn. I take the knight. He moves his knight, and he resigned because I took his knight. Because he was literally losing everything here. Like, I think, yeah, he blundered literally 3 pieces in a row. And then he decided to give up because he blundered 3 pieces in a row. And I was just up 15 points of material. So, thank you, wait for triple checkmate. Or a triple check. Alright, the last one I'm going to show you is not an opponent being dumb. Nay, it is me being dumb. I was very dumb. Okay, this is like one of my first game. This is like my first actual game. Okay, and I just want you guys to see that it's not just me who, or it's not just my opponents, rather, who make horrible opening choices. It can also be me, the greatest chess player of all time. You can see here, we got an English opening, and I didn't know what an English opening was. I didn't even know what an opening was at the time, okay? So I just did this. He does the English. And then I did this. I don't know why I did this. I don't know what the point of this was. This is like 2 years ago. Don't ask me. He moves his knight, trying to develop to the center. I move my pawn. It's an okay move. Wouldn't be what I do. My move would probably be developing the knight, but he decides to move the pawn. He's probably gonna take, and I can't really take back. And it was, yeah, he'd probably just take, honestly. But it also does get ready for the bishop development. So if you want to like put the bishop here, nicely defended by the knight. So this is a good opening choice by him. You were keeping the balance, but that makes your position worse. Yeah, I probably should have just attacked here. I don't really understand actually why I Never mind. I don't really see it, honestly, because there are two pieces defending that pawn. I don't really see how that was the best move, but whatever. Black has lost their advantage a little bit because they decided to give check. I moved quickly, according to it. Actually, I did move quickly. I moved in like 4 seconds. I don't even know, or whatever. I missed the only good move, which was to attack back with the bishop. And this permits him to force doubling pawns, which always sucks because doubled pawns usually suck. And yeah, he trapped my bishop. So I had to take back. And I'm just a bishop down. He's up 5 points of material. This is terrible stuff, okay? Seeing this is awful. I hate every moment of this. Yeah, you got that. You got this. I offered the bishop exchange. He just goes on the attack. He just wins the rook, okay? There's nothing more about it. This guy, I'm sure he's doing way better now. But you can see this is terrible stuff. I permitted my opponent to win material by adding pressure, which makes sense. Obviously, he's not doing the greatest himself, but it's terrible. This is all terrible. Okay, I want to be perfectly clear. Do not play like this. This is not a permission for you guys to play like this. Do not ever play like this. If you do, I want you to be banned from chess.com immediately. Well, not really, but you know what I mean. Don't play like this. This is terrible. You're gonna lose. This move is okay. Yeah, you can see he's making plenty of inaccuracies, like I am myself. He probably should have moved this knight. Yeah, probably should have just moved the knight because it gives me check, win the queen. But whatever. This leads to losing a queen. I'm not really sure how this loses a queen. Oh, you win the bit. Oh, you check the bishop. Whatever. I find this great move. This was apparently the only move in this position. And this isn't just a main 3, okay? Let's see if I can find it real quick. Is it this? Yep. He probably moves here. Let's see. Probably a pawn move. Wait, what? Oh, okay. So yeah, this is just main 1. You just do that. All right, that's just mate. Like he can't do anything. That's unfortunately not what happened in the game though. Yeah, I went from completely winning to completely losing in 1 move. And I lost my queen. I think. No, I didn't. But it's a double check. which stops me from winning material, as it says, and from being able to force eventual checkmate. So, yeah, checkmate's just off the table now. So I had to move here. This is just an inaccuracy. It loses the rook, apparently. This was a queen. Yeah, you can see he's not doing too great himself. And if I knew how to play chess back then, like, why didn't I just take that? God, why didn't I just take the rook? This is just a free rook. Why didn't I take the rook? Oh, there's a free queen. Oh my god, it's even worse than just a free rook. There's a free queen. Oh my god. Oh my god, I didn't even notice that. This is terrible. This entire position is terrible. Don't play this. I did win the queen though, but he did this, so I had to win a tempo. But yeah, he just kept attacking the queen. He took my free bishop. I moved this. This is honestly god awful. Like what? This pawn is so close to promoting. Like I can't defend it. Yeah, I just lose the queen. He promotes, and yeah, I just resigned here. The reason being, it was a mate in one. Okay, you just do this. You know, I just moved back here. This is just mate. You know, my pawns are keeping me from moving anywhere, and I have 24 seconds on the clock. I want to show you guys one more thing that I used to do. Before I do go. So if we go to analysis here, you guys can see I can set up a position, but I want to make moves. So, let's just say I'm white, okay? So my first move would be this, and you know, black probably would play something normal, and then I would do this, and you know, black probably play something normal, and then I do this, and black probably just takes up the center, and then I do this. Black probably, I don't know, maybe moves here. I don't even know. And then I would do this. We'll just move black there. And then I would do this. This is what I called the communist opening. I don't know what the Anderson opening is, but this is what I call the communist opening because I don't even know why I called it a communist opening. I'm gonna be completely honest right now. But this is like I was like I don't even know how old I was, but I didn't even have chess.com yet. I didn't even have a YouTube channel when I did this stuff. And that was back in 2019, so when I actually created that. So this is like pre-2019. When I actually did this. I had no idea how to play chess. And this is what I did. This is how I played chess. So I think the lesson we all learned here is don't make horrible decisions in your opening. Otherwise, you're going to end up with positions like this, where, well, it shouldn't really be equal because I was making pretty bad moves with black just because I was trying to be quick. But black would definitely have an advantage of this position if this were a real player and not just me trying to demonstrate what I used to do. So, yeah, this position, this opening is terrible. I do not encourage anyone to play this. I do not encourage anyone to play like these players because every single one of these was terrible. Go watch other chess content. Support actual chess creators. I'm not usually the guy supplying the chess content. I mean, I want to do chess stuff sometimes. You know, just talk about stuff that I've noticed in my games or whatever. And I've noticed recently, especially on April 13th, I had like 4 games in a row, just terrible openings. So, yeah, most of these were my victory, but I don't win a lot of games. Well, I do, but I don't win. If I go on a big winning streak, I usually go on a big losing streak right after. So I'm like 400 to 500 elo. I'm rambling on now. I'm sorry about that. I should probably end it off. If you did enjoy this video, like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to check out my other chess video, I'm pretty sure it was about blunders in games, I want to say. I can't remember exactly what it was about. But it was something else about chess. It would be up now. So if you did enjoy this, like, comment, subscribe. Check out my main channel for more stuff. Check out my this channel for even more stuff. And yeah, I think that's about it. I'm gonna go see you guys next time. Yeah, see you guys.